Hey guys, how are you doing today? I'm back with another video showing you guys how to do some art. So today we're going to be printmaking. Printmaking is the beginning process for me as a designer because I like to create my own textiles, and sometimes that's the beginning process of me artistically of just like getting in the mode or getting in the feel. So printmaking is something that I've been doing since I was in high school. I prefer to use linoleum blocks. So these linoleum blocks normally come in a 4x6. You can get them really cheap, and then you can carve into them using a carving tool. Now this tool is considered like a knife. So when you carve into this, you're normally carving away from yourself, and it comes with, they come with different tools at the top too. So I have another one, but yeah, these two have two different heads, so you can kind of see the different widths that you can get when carving into the linoleum block. So I'm just gonna dive right into this today because I wanted to create a cool composition for you guys today. So I have already carved my blocks. That's something that I do. I normally buy them in packs, and then I just spend my time, you know, just carving out different shapes or cutting out different shapes and stuff like that, so I can put together some different compositions. The one that everyone knows is the circle square. That's the one that when I carved it out, I really liked it a lot, and I translated it into different textiles for clothing and fashion. Some other ones that I've used before have been just the stripes, and then this guy here, which I used for some early work that I was doing a couple of years ago. So during this process, what happens is that I have paper already. I have a space that I can put my ink on, and what will happen is that I will put the ink down, and I will roll to this ink to spread the ink all over the space to get it nice and even, and then I will roll it onto my block. It's rubber, but I like to use the word block. So I roll it onto my block, and then I will print it down and pull up. So you're gonna see this process, but I'm explaining it to you now. This is really dope if you have a clothing line or if you have any brand whatsoever and you have a cool but simple logo. You can carve it out on this, and then you can use that for your thank you cards. You can use that to print on your mailers. You can use it for a bunch of different things. That's definitely something I use as a brand. So when someone buys something that has a circle square on it, I like to use it on the thank you card, or maybe I'll wrap it in brown paper and I'll print this on the front of it. That's just something that I do as a brand. But I know if you have a brand or a clothing brand or anything that's, you know, homey or in this kind of vibe, you can definitely use this process to create cool stamps for yourself. Also, there's certain people online that pre-carve them for you, but it's just a cool process that you're about to see. So I haven't planned a composition yet, so I'm kind of coming in here kind of open for you guys. I really appreciated the response that I've been getting for the videos that I've been uploading online, and it's just making me want to do it a little more, so I'm just kind of coming in here wild and free for you guys. So normally I just put down my ink. You really can't see. Yeah. So I put down my ink, and then I will roll it on. I definitely have something over top of this area right now, but it looks like it's directly on my countertop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the circle square design just because I really like how that came out. And I'm rolling it in one direction. Doing it back and forth, you can kind of pull off the ink, and that can show off on the design. So I'm going in one direction in nice quick motion, and then try to keep my hands clean because that could come off on the paper. 9 times out of 10, my hands are not going to be clean, and it's going to come off on the paper anyway, but that's because that's just how I'm working. But if I wanted to get some really clean work, I will use gloves and just change out my gloves as I'm working. Yeah, I'm gonna go off center on this one. I would apply pressure to this as I add it down. You will notice that some people will do it a different way. They might put their paper down and they might flip it over, you know, and then they will apply their pressure that way. Some people will use another roller and they will roll that on there, but that's not a process that I'm comfortable with. I'm just showing you guys just how other people do it. And then they will pull away from that way, and then boom, you have your design, and that looks really good and really clean for me, and I am really excited about that, and I'm ready to add some more. So what I also have here is some other different shapes and different designs that I've carved out before that I like to integrate together or composite together in a way to form like a cool composition. So that's what I'm gonna do today for you guys. Yeah, so this is a process that I really like to do, but what's hard sometimes is like spacing. I like to use the larger paper sometimes, but sometimes that can be a little, this can be really messy. if you like to have fun and you like to get messy and stuff like that, this is definitely one of those things that you can do. And because when you carve out the design, you have it permanently. So if you create a really nice design that you like, you can really use it and create multiple designs in multiple colors. You can use small paper, big paper, different colors. You can even take a picture of this carving now and then translate it into Photoshop, and then it can go on a full like adventure from there. So that's what I did. So I'm just letting you guys know that, because that is something that a lot of designers do. And then just to let you know a little history on printmaking. Printmaking is actually the first step before graphic design. There was a point where artists were really carving actual letters and actual, in some cases, images on these type of materials and then printing it for media purposes. So that's just something that I've also connected with printmaking, knowing that it is kind of like that beginning stages of what we know as branding and marketing and publication and stuff like that. So I just did another go through on this design, and it didn't come out as clear as my other one did. So I'm still okay with how that looked, but I'm ready to move on to something else for you guys. So this next one I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna mix some colors around, and I'm actually gonna use my most recent design that I carved. So what I decided to do with my most recent design was just really look at my logo, and I like the symmetry of my logo. So what I decided to do was just cut my logo in the halfway point. Cut my logo in half, and that way my logo is a H and a K. So this is really a H and a K cut in half if you look at it this way. And then of course if it was flipped, you know, but because of the way I've done it, you really can't see it. But once I use it graphically, once I print it a few times and then get it translated into Photoshop and move it around a few times, you'll be able to see what I'm trying to achieve. Basically, when you're using this to do art, when you're doing this to do graphics or letters that you want to be readable, you have to do it in reverse. So honestly, that is a mistake that I made with this piece right here. I didn't do it in reverse, but to me, it didn't matter, because I know that I could do an awesome print of this, and then I could take this into Photoshop, give it to a graphic designer, and they'll be able to reverse that for me and no problem, and that wouldn't be a big deal at all. But what I'm going to do for you right now is to create a cool textile using this design, and hopefully I can translate this into some fashion. So what I'm gonna do now, I've already had my ink on there, and then I'm gonna press it down in the corner because I'm trying to get an all over print here. So yeah. So I just made a mess, obviously, but for printmaking, what I love is that I'm using a water-soluble ink. So once I'm done here, I can just wash my hands, do a quick wipe, and everything will be done. And the one thing I always tell people when doing printmaking is make sure you wash your materials, like your rollers and stuff like that. You don't want these to get clogged up with ink, because after a while they become useless. been there, done that. They're kind of like paintbrushes. It's like if you leave the paint in it, after a while, they're a no-go. So what I've created right here is just, what I really like is just a simple textile using my HK cut in half design. I really haven't came up with a name for it. But what I said before, what it really is just an H and a K kind of cut in half. But what I fell in love with is just how the shapes in the negative space. So what I did was I created that, and then what I just did is created a cool textile made from that. So this is actually not as clean as I wanted it to be. As you can see, I have a lot of little spots and little fingerprints in there. But what I would do, because of this is, you know, printmaking, is what I would do is see this and be like, okay, cool, I like this competition. I like this composition. Let me repeat it in a cleaner way and maybe in a different color. This is something that I love, and I actually like it just like this. And I might do it in red or black or something like this. But what will be the next step into creating my textile will be taking this, a great photo of this and removing the background and creating a transparency, and then using that on different in different ways to create a textile, or to create a, you know, textile for fashion, or textile for whatever I choose to do with it at that time. So that is all I wanted to show you guys today. Definitely fell in love with this. This was something I did impromptu, so I wasn't expecting to really come out with this. I was just really wanted to show you guys this process of mine. But I really like how this came out, so you will be seeing this later. And I probably will end up framing this and hanging this myself. And just to show you how quick and easy cleanup it is, I'm going to clean this up real quick. So what I use is I like to use the cling wrap. Personally, I like to use the cling wrap and put it on my paper on my my countertop, and that way I can just clean up real quickly with this. I normally use blue tape, but I could not find my blue tape for the life of me. So I just use clear tape for now. And then I'm going to, after all of this, I'm going to wash my hands. And then I'm going to use like a simple little wipe here. If I can reach my hand in there and grab one. Don't be difficult. And it's funny because my hands are completely blue too. So it's like, yeah. So I'm just gonna clean this up real quick. And that's gonna be the end of my video. I really appreciate you guys and your feedbacks on the things that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to do a lot of other things. So check me out next time. Once again, my name is Klyde Wright. My Instagram is Klyde Wright, KLYDEWRIGHT, and that's also my website, KlydeWright.com, where you can go online and shop for some of the things that I make. I'm getting to the point where I want to put some of my artwork on my Instagram, but most of my artwork I sell in person. I really don't sell it online. So that's why I don't really put it online. Most of the stuff I sell are just my clothes. So if you are interested in any of my artwork that you see in my videos, or anything that I've done today, you can just hit me up and we can talk about it. Also, if you're friends with me on my Facebook, I still have my art prints for sale on my Facebook. So you can check that out, and you can just cash at me and I can send that out to you, okay? Thank you so much for checking me out. I'll see you next time.